In heaven there is no beer. That's why we drink it here. And when we're gone from here, all our friends will be drinking all our beer.
Welcome to the Beer Channel. I'm John Starodumsky, and tonight we're on episode 2, actually, of our little foray into the beer world with a special brew that I've been hunting down for quite a while. And it's a beer from a local brewery called Terrapin, based out of Athens, Georgia. Now, Terrapin for the longest time was a contract brewer. They brewed beers like Big Hoppy Monster and Chocolate Oatmeal Stout that they had brewed for them in Frederick, Maryland, and bottled, and that they sold mostly here in Georgia. Their brewmaster, Spike Bukowski, actually got his start at the Five Seasons Brewing Company, which is about 5 miles from where I live here on the perimeter in Atlanta. And actually, Big Hoppy Monster premiered at Five Seasons, and it's a very good beer, and he's a very good brewmaster. In July of last year, they opened a brewery, physical brewery in Athens, and they started to brew their own beer for the Georgia market and to start expanding eventually into the surrounding states here in the southeast. Now, one thing that Terrapin has done of late is to actually hop onto the one-off special brew bandwagon, which I think is a good idea. Beer lovers are actually by nature a pretty fickle lot. Not that we don't like lots of different beers and wide varieties of beers, but mostly that's the problem. Because we tend not to be very brand loyal, and we like to bounce around. So the smart thing for a brewer to do is actually to offer a one-off brew that the local beer geeks are probably going to latch onto, and maybe there'll even be some interest from the outside markets. People will want to get a hold of these things. And because you're continually introducing new brews, there'll be interest in those, and they'll be sought after. Now, Terrapin's done that with their side project line of beers, and to be honest, the first couple were good, solid beers, but they weren't beers that I thought were exceptional in nature, but the last one, actually, which was a honey wheat wine, was actually very good. And the latest one, round 4, is a chocolate porter, and it's called Side Project Volume 4, Dos Cocos Porter. Now, this particular beer was intended for this time of year. It was released in early February. Obviously, the chocolate connection of the beer, cocoa, with Valentine's Day, that was definitely intended, and it's actually brewed with 2 types of chocolate. It's brewed with cocoa nibs and cocoa powder, and it is a porter, so it's a dark beer actually. Now, this is one that I've had a lot of trouble finding. Some of these beers, some of the side project beers do go pretty quickly. They're about $6.50 for a 22-ounce bomber bottle, so that's a little bit pricey, but it doesn't seem to deter the local beer aficionados, because again they do disappear, and every store that I had gone to until today had been out of this one, and I've been looking for it for a few weeks, but I was happy to find it, and we're going to try it out. Got that little fancy gold crown foil. Okay. Got my Terrapin beer glass. I do like to, whenever possible, match the glass to the beer. You can see it's not entirely, not a jet black beer. As I'm pouring it, I can see light passing through the liquid, so it's not really fully opaque. But it does have, and again, in the glass, the same. As I hold it to the light, I can see light passing through. A little bit of a slightly tan-colored head on there. And I can get the chocolate in the nose, and it is almost a powdered cocoa type aroma. And I let this warm up just a little bit. I've had it in the fridge most of the day. I like to drink my beer cool, not cold, and really that is the best way to drink a flavorful beer, because if you drink it too cold, it's going to numb the taste buds, and you're really not going to be able to appreciate it. It's dark. obviously dark malty flavors, some roastiness, a little raisin in there. I'm getting a faint hint of chocolate, more in the finish. I'm definitely getting some of that almost like a chocolate pudding type cocoa note. At least that's the way I think of it. And there's a lot of roasted malt chocolatiness to it too, from the porter end of it. Body's a bit, I think I would like a little bit firmer body. Porters don't have to be, they can be almost as thick as stouts. And I think a beer like this, where you're going to try and accent the chocolate, especially something that's a side project, a one-off, a specialty, I think I want a little bit more body than this beer has. That said, it's tasty. It's very drinkable. I do like the chocolate, again, in more so in the finish, but there's a little bit up front too. But I think it's probably not something that I like as much as, say, Sam Adams Chocolate Bock, which is really loaded with chocolatey flavors. But that particular beer is about twice the price. Take that as you will. I'm going to say, really, I'm going to give this 3 stars. I don't think it's again, I don't think it's what it could be. I think it needs more body. It needs more chocolate, definitely, to be a really a special beer worthy of $6.50 for a 22-ounce bottle. I am glad I found it. I'm glad I've tried it. I haven't missed any of the side project beers so far. I wouldn't go out of my way for it if I were you, but if you happen upon a bottle, it is worth a try. Again, I'm going to give this a 3 stars considering the price and whatnot. So again, if you do happen to try it, or if you're just curious about it, I hope you'll log on to brewguru.com and drop me an email, brewguru@brewguru.com. Enjoy.
In heaven there is no beer, that's why we drink it here. And when we're gone from here, all our friends will be drinking all our beer.